rings so true. That's exactly how my mind works. I can't actually function on that while I'm doing business. It makes no sense.
The worst question people ask is, why is this happening to me?
You still get alarm clock calls where you think, fuck off, I need more sleep.
100%. It's the hardest thing in the frigging world to do because it means that you have to look at yourself. You really have to take a good, hard look at yourself. It's like a analysis, an audit of where you're at.
Business will be shit if my relationship isn't good.
We didn't cap our potential with, oh, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. We just let it go. And we're just like, whatever comes, comes. We're on this road. If we were all sitting in our comfort zone the whole time, we wouldn't do anything different.
The key thing you're saying, Dimple, really, is just take that leap. Whatever it may be, whether it be a relationship, a business, traveling, do it.
Welcome to the Rich in Success podcast, the podcast that aims to define exactly what success means to you and gives you the tools to achieve this in your daily life. Hosted by action-taking mindset coach, world record holder and successful entrepreneur Matt Hall. Each week, this show brings you motivation, education and inspiration on how you can live a happier, more fulfilled and more successful life. Are you ready to take your life to the next level? If so, this is the podcast for you. Now, let today's lessons begin.
Welcome back, everybody, to the show that brings you motivation, education, and inspiration on how you can live a happier, healthier, a more successful, and a more fulfilled life. I am your host, entrepreneur, podcaster, and coach, Matt Hall, and today I am thrilled to be joined for the second time, actually, by alignment coach Dimple Thakra. Now, Dimple has been helping people for over 25 years, and in particular, she specializes in helping CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners with their relationships. She's helped many couples that were on the brink of divorce, completely splitting up and going their separate ways, to completely turn things around and find that passion, find that love again, and not only stay together, but be happier than ever. So as a single guy, I thought, Dimple, we need to get her back on the show. I need to learn more about relationships, more about how I can serve people better, and more about how I can be a better person in relationships. So this is as much for my selfish reasons that I wanted to get Dimple on, but I know there are many other people out there, both in relationships that are maybe struggling, or maybe they're single and looking for how they can be better in order to find that perfect relationship. So I know that this is going to be a super valuable episode. Now, the last time Dimple was actually on the Rich in Success podcast was over a year ago when we were, I think, about 50 odd hours deep into breaking the world record. So we were super delirious. We were super tired after talking non-stop. And I remember Dimple coming on and just being like this beautiful energy that really like perked us up, and we were like, wow, what an incredible woman, what an incredible guest. And I always thought after that it would be brilliant to bring her back on the show when I'm fresh, when I'm focused, and when we can just have a proper deep dive into her experience, into her knowledge, and do a one-off episode with her. And that is exactly what we're doing today. So as always, I hope you find this a valuable episode. Dimple's got years of experience. She was also coached personally by the one and only Tony Robbins. And today she is joining the Rich in Success podcast. I hope you all enjoy this. Episode number 145, Stop Your Relationship from Failing, with alignment coach Dimple Thakra. And just before we dive straight into today's Rich in Success podcast episode, I wanted to share with you what becoming a Rich in Success member could actually do for your life. Now, if you're somebody that is at a point where you're serious about positive change, whether that be in your health, your well-being, your mindset, your business, your career, your finances, or your relationships, the Rich in Success membership is perfect for you. For just £39 a month, you get access to over 40 training videos where I'll be taking you through everything from goal setting. We'll be looking at high performance habits. We'll be looking at different changes you can make to your mindset and your attitude that are going to be able to propel you to have more success in every single area of your life. And in addition to these training videos, every month you will get a live group coaching call with me where you can ask me any questions about the content or about things that you're going through in your life so that I can help you personally as your coach. And as well as that, there will be exclusive bonus interviews with experts in a variety of fields. I'm bringing together the best minds, the best experts from all around the world to give you access to the very best content to help you move forward in your life. All this for just £39 a month, reoccurring subscription that you can cancel at any time. To become a Rich in Success member today, please click the link below or head on over to richinsuccess.com where you can sign up there, and I will look forward to seeing you in the exclusive members area very soon.
Okay, Dimple Thakra, thank you so much for your time. It's the second time you've been on the podcast. Literally, the first time that we met virtually like this, my cousin and I were something like 30 hours deep into breaking a world record. Like, we were delirious. We was pretty tired. And I just remember you coming on to Zoom and your whole persona, your energy, just being like this beautiful breath of fresh air. And it just got us through. Like, it was that kind of thing where we needed this injection of life, and you gave us that. So the first thing I just want to say is thank you. And I remember thinking right back then, like, I need you back on the show where we can proper talk, where I'm awake and alive. So my first thing is just to say thank you for that. Second thing is to say thank you for making the time to be back. And also when you travel, so you're in San Diego at the moment.
Yeah, I'm in San Diego.
And after we finish this, you're pretty much traveling to LA.
Yep, traveling to LA.
I think this is a great place to start, you know, because I've been thinking, like, the next stage for me in life is I need to travel more. I've traveled a lot with my band gigging, but only to go, work and get out. And I see on your social media and stuff, you travel a lot. So what I'm saying basically, Dimple, is sell it to us non-travelers. What's the reason you travel so much? What's that lifestyle like?
Oh, it's an incredible question. Well, thank you so much for having me back, first of all. And also, like, that means the world to me, that feedback, that, you know, because I intentionally work on myself to be the light, right? To actually, and people often say this to me, well, you're a breath of fresh air when you come in, your energy, your vibe, right? And actually, the truth of all of that is, it doesn't come automatically. It's not like you wake up and you're a light, you know. Like, I have shit days as well, and I have to do the work on me that I expect my clients to do, right? To get to
can we just make the point then? You still get alarm clock calls where you think, fuck off, I need more sleep.
100%. 100%. And I get it less and less now. I'll be honest with you, I get it less and less. And the reason is because it's a bit like momentum, like training, right? When you first start training, it's hard work to get in the gym. It, like, you really don't want to do it, right? But then you get momentum. And it gets to the point where if you miss a day, you're frustrated with yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's literally the work that I do, the energetics behind it is I've got to that point now where I get up before the alarm because I'm excited to get in the gym. I'm excited to do the work, right? So
that's the process you've been on. And what I love what you said there is it's intentional. It starts with full awareness that I have to work at this, just like you work on your body in the gym. I've got to work on my mind, my aura, my vibe, my energy. How do I want to show up in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's absolutely intentional. Like, for me, my workout is an hour and a half meditation, every day. It's like and I'm not saying everybody has to do that. That's my choice, right? That's where I actually, it's a bit like, again, I'm going to use the gym analogy, right? When you first start, 20 minutes seems a long time, right? But once you get into it and you love it, it's almost like you want to be there for an hour and a half, right? Because it just flies by. And so for me, meditation is it's a gift of a little holiday to myself every day. Like I fly every day, right? But that's taken 10 years of getting to that. So that's the point. I started with 5 minutes, then I went to 10, then I went to, right? So it's that build up in the same way it would be the gym. So in answer to your question, so we'll go back. I just wanted to acknowledge you.
No, you know what as well? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Because I'm a non-meditator and I keep getting guests on that keep swearing by it and I keep giving it a bit of a try and I'm not seeing it through, which, hold my hands up, it's the same with the gym analogy. You've got to kind of push through those barriers and keep showing up, be consistent. But what I'm interested in, and we will get to my traveling question, because, and I'll be honest with all the listeners and the viewers, this is such a selfish episode for me. There's so much I see you doing and you're an expert in that I'm like, I just want to learn from this woman. So, but I know there's a lot of people like me as well. So I know there's a lot of non-meditators that are maybe working on their business development, working on their personal development, but that meditation thing just hasn't been for them yet. What's the main thing you personally get out of doing that as a regular daily non-negotiable?
Yeah, I love it. So that what it is, so we work on our business, we work on our bodies, we work on all those other areas, right? What meditation is working on actually sitting with yourself. It's the hardest thing in the frigging world to do because it means that you have to look at yourself. You really have to take a good hard look at yourself. It's like a analysis, an audit of where you're at, right? And the analogy I'd like to use again is your body. Like nobody likes to step on the scales when they know they haven't been doing the work, or nobody likes to put those jeans on when they know shit. Right?
Don't fit right now. Yeah.
Get
out the joggers, get out the baggy clothes, and just forget about it. Just pretend it's not happened.
Yeah, just like I'm not going to look at the jeans or the scales today because I don't. I can buy all the training programs in the world, but if I don't freaking do them, there's nobody else to blame, right?
That's it. Yeah.
And what meditation is, it's forcing yourself to take a hard bloody look at yourself, right? Because I had a client this morning actually, and he's a multi-millionaire, and he sat down with me and he said, Dimple, I'm just not satisfied. I want to feel content in my life. And he said, I feel like I've regressed. And I said, okay. I said, let's call him Mr. X. And I said, okay, Mr. X, so what's changed? And he went, well, I've stopped meditating.
Wow.
I'm not really doing the routine that I said. And I said, okay. And that's okay, because we all have those relapses. And actually, the truth is, I'm so grateful that you're feeling the contrast, because it's when you feel the difference of not doing it is when you get back on and do it, right?
100%. Yeah.
And the clarity of mind. This is what meditation does. It provides you with sitting with yourself and actually looking at your shit, right? It then says, okay, so let's get clear. What do we need? And then the third piece that it does, and this is the magic. Do you know when you have those moments in your life where you're daydreaming, you're in the shower and you have those brilliant ideas and they're the ones.
Yeah.
Though that magic you can only get when you're present with yourself. And that's because you're tapping into, and I don't care what your religious faith is, it's about spirituality now. You're tapping into an energy that's greater than you, right? It's a field that is source, God, creator, universe, whatever you want to call it. The name is irrelevant, but we all know what it is.
And they're the game-changing things that come to you in those moments that change your life, right?
Yeah, I'm writing my third book, and I write it straight after my meditation, because if you ask me what's in my book, I have no clue, because I'm literally tapping into the source, and I'm writing chapters like this so freaking fast, because I can't, it's coming through me so fast because I've cleared the shit.
Yeah.
Meditation is like clearing out the constipation, the emotional shit, right?
Well, you couldn't have put it any better. Now I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, but it is, right? Because we're constantly going through life with all these different sort of these beliefs and these worries and these fears that we've just kind of hidden away in the subconscious, but they're just coming out as and when. And I guess what that allows you to do is let that all come out, fuck off, and get back to the root, get back to the source of who am I, what's the truth, and that's when you get creative.
So magical, which is why now I'm addicted, right? And in the same way, you'll have that feeling in the gym, because what happens is when we move our bodies, we're actually shifting old stagnant energy.
Yeah.
So that release that you feel is actual energy, because emotions are just stuck energy.
Yeah.
Right? They're just stuck energy. This whole piece, when you the piece on, having a good cry makes you feel good, right? But how many times do you stop yourself from crying? And the problem with that is when you stop yourself from feeling that emotion, it sits in your body. Yeah. Right? You don't release it. And then the next time you feel that, you push it down. So we literally have emotional shit sitting in our bodies causing disease. Right? So meditation, movement, I do a walking meditation, so it's both. Meditation, movement moves it out, it clears it out. So you'll often find after your gym workout, you'll have a couple of different emotions that come through. You'll either feel elated or you'll feel some sadness or, some emotions that you're like, where the hell did that come from? Or anger or frustration, and you work it out of your body. Right?
So true.
That's right, because you're moving it. You're actually moving your body. And so for me, it's become a holiday, because I clear myself out, and I owe it to my clients, because the clients that I work with have a lot of emotional baggage that if I kept all of that on me, I would be a wreck. Right?
Of course.
So I have to clear it out, and I use energy healing work to do that. I'm an energetic healer as well. So I clear that out, and then I tap into the magic, and I literally go into bliss. It's just, right?
Beauty. So how should I start? 20 minutes? Can I do 10? Would 10 be enough if I did 10 minutes a day?
Even if you did 5 minutes, but you were intentional with it. And what you'll find is that 5 minutes won't be enough, because you'll want to sit there longer. And the other piece is as well is that when you first start, and this is what I have clients tell me, and this same client told me this, he said, oh God, it's so freaking hard, because I've got all these thoughts running around in my head, and I get distracted, and I'm trying to pull them back, and I'm getting cross with myself. And the advice I give to all my clients is, when that happens, honor the thoughts, don't fight them. Just honor them.
Yeah.
Just go, okay, no problem, thanks. I'm going to leave you there now. And just honor it. And the key is coming back, is keep bringing your focus back. So you can focus on anything. You can focus on a candle. You can focus on your heart. It's really about being intentional on where you're focusing, right? And so start with 5 minutes. Don't beat yourself up. Congratulate yourself. It's very much the same thing as when you first start exercising.
Yeah.
Any movement, take the stairs, don't take the lift. Congratulate yourself on that, right?
Yeah. Small little incremental wins. It's the same with everything, right? You've just got to start and then build on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, traveling. Tell me about your lifestyle. Let's learn about you and this, what appears on social media to be the idealistic life. You're traveling with the man you love. You're earning good money, helping others and doing things you're passionate about. And you're getting to see the world. Is it as good as it looks? Tell us the truth. We want to know.
Yeah. Oh, all the dirt, all the dirt. Yeah. So it's so interesting, right? Because we actually decided, well, it came through a meditation. I had this crazy idea in end of May that I had to go and do an event in Cancun. And it was such a strong message, right? And we all have them. I call them the whispers. We all have these whispers that are crazy shit, right? Like, what? That makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
And I've told the story in one of my lives, so for the detail, people can go check that out. The point is that this message came through, and I'm in England, Manchester, and the message is you've got to go to Mexico, Cancun in 8 days, right? So most people would go, well, just don't be like, I've got a child at home, I've got dogs, but like, what? Anyway, I manifested the whole damn thing, including my husband traveling with me. We booked a one-way ticket and we just went. And from that, and we literally didn't know how long we were going to be there for. We didn't know when we were coming back. From that, we ended up staying a month in Mexico, and the business opportunities that came through because we didn't cap our potential with, oh, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. We just let it go. And we're just like, whatever comes, comes. We're on this road. We're clear on what our intention is to serve people, to align with what feels integral to us, right? And I'm grateful and fortunate enough to have a man who is on this path with me. Now, that has been intentional and that has been a road and that has been a journey, and it's not always been pretty, right? We celebrated our 26th wedding anniversary last week, and we had planned out, as we spoke of in the last podcast, we planned our divorce for our 25th. So it's been a journey. So on the outside, it looks all amazing. And hopefully people get some of the truth behind our travel. Like even now we're going to LA, we haven't booked a hotel. We only decided we're going to LA yesterday, right? And actually we were supposed to go yesterday and our plans changed because we were in the flow of who we were meeting.
Do you know
right?
what? I love that though, because people can demonize that as like, oh, you're disorganized. And I think if you're a creative and you're an emotional person, allow yourself to be free. Like, not to the point where you take the piss and you're letting everyone down, but it's just refreshing to hear that. Like, we're going with our gut. We're going with the opportunities that arise. We're being open to new opportunities coming in.
Yeah.
I
And
think
that's
more people
basically
need to
what we
allow
did.
themselves that, right?
And then what happens is you build up resentment and frustration and you blame others for you not achieving what you actually want to achieve, right? And what I mean by capping is when you don't listen to the whisper and you put logic in the way, what happens is you only then are gifted what you believe to be your worth. Right? Just hear that. You're only then given what you believe to be your worth. And so by us being open, the like it's mind blowing the opportunities that we both had. And it's the first time that we're both developing a business together, right? My husband is a serial entrepreneur. He has his own businesses and he's moved from being a business operator to an owner. So he still has those businesses, but he can now do them anywhere in the world. I'm a coach. I had a call this morning at 7 a.m. from somebody who's in England. It doesn't mean that I say, oh, no, I'm sorry, it's the wrong time zone for me. No, I honor my commitments. Even with yourself, I was honoring the commitment that I had with you. We should have done this call 2 hours later. And I was like, I'm still doing it, but I'll be traveling. What's the best fit? So and we moved it. So when you honor your commitments in a way that is also saying, look, this is where I'm at. Can we make this work? Right? And sometimes people will get pissed off with you. And that's okay. Because that's a growth and learning opportunity for them as it is for me. Sometimes I don't make the right decision and I have to sit with that, right? And I have to go, okay, so what is the learning for me in this? If I was to do this next time, because the worst question people ask is, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
It's the worst question because you end up in a rabbit hole.
You won't get an answer. It's a downward spiral. It's victim mode, right? You just, oh,
Victim.
me, why me? Well, that's not really got a positive outcome. It's just going to keep you as a victim.
And because you don't learn the lesson from that, the universe sends it you even bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Are you going to learn
Even
it
bigger.
now? Yeah.
Hello. Right?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll give you an example. And this is going to sound a really odd one, but I'm giving it you because it's odd. Right? When my husband and I first got married, we didn't really discuss whether we wanted children or not. Right? It was a bit of a, like, maybe we should have, like, it's a game changer. We should have perhaps had that conversation. This is how asleep we were. We weren't conscious and we didn't have conscious communication, right? Because 95% of us live unconscious. We make decisions unconscious. Only 5% conscious, right? There's a hell of a lot of stuff we're doing that we're asleep at, right? So we didn't, and I was like, I don't want children. Like, I don't, and he was like, I want a football team. Bit of a problem there,
Literally
right?
polar opposites.
Which is the story of our lives. That's another story, right? Right?
Yeah.
So I got to the point, and I remember it. We got married when I was 22, and at 24, I had this like literally 30-second window where I had a maternal instinct, right? And and he jumped on it. He's like, okay, yeah, let's do it, right?
Football team.
Football team, football team, football team. So I said to him, okay, we'll have a month and we'll play Russian roulette, right? And we'll see if I get pregnant. I came off the pill because I was getting migraines anyway, so it served me. Came off the pill, right? And we tried for a baby and it didn't happen. So I went on the pill. I was like, yes, no baby.
I win.
No baby. I win, right? And ended up having the first month that I was on a new pill, got pregnant. Interesting, right?
Football team. Football team.
Football team, right? Football team. Anyway, all the while I was sending out the vibration and the energy that I don't want children, I don't want children, I don't want children, right? So we ended up having Maya. She's now, gosh, how old? 22, right? And we ended up losing 5 babies after that. Now, some people would say that that was out of my control. And actually, it was universe saying, are you sure you don't want children? Are you sure you don't want children? Right? Because I didn't learn the lesson the first time. Even though I had a child, energetically, I was still sending out that vibe. And I suffered really bad postnatal depression with Maya because there was this mixed thing going on, right?
Like this internal conflict in yourself, right?
Yeah. And so what we do is if we're not aware of that, and this was something I was talking to my client about, we sabotage ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? We say we want one thing and then we actually energetically put the vibes out that we don't.
Yeah.
Right? So we have this in business all the time. I really want to be successful. I want to make loads of money. But then when it comes to that big decision, we sabotage and then we blame everybody else that we didn't take that leap of faith. So in answer to your question about the travel, I had to take the leap of faith that I would be okay and that it would be all right. And that I would be comfortable not knowing how long I'd be in a place. People often say to me, when are you going home? When are you coming back? What's your plan? I don't know. The only thing I know is
keep on learning, growing, experiencing.
Yeah. The only thing I know is that right now in this like world of logistics, we have a visa that allows us to be here for 3 months, but we're looking into different visas, right? Because the opportunity came up.
I just hope there's people listening to this now that don't see your life as far-fetched from them. Because I think you said something there about you realised your worth, and then you put that into the universe, and it's almost like the ceiling lifted and the opportunities are endless. And it reminds me a lot of the success cycle Tony Robbins talks about with your potential in life is not based on your actual physical potential. It's based on what you believe it to be, right? And if you don't see yourself as being able to make traveling work and the person that could, run a successful coaching business and keep the income coming in or whatever, you're never going to take the action to actually try. And then you'll never figure out what you are worth. And I think the key thing you're saying, Dimple, really is just take that leap, whatever it may be, whether it be a relationship, a business, traveling, do it. And if it all goes to shit, brilliant. You've learned that wasn't the right thing. Now try something else. But I think far more people could be living a lifestyle like yours if they would just take that first fucking step. Have the courage.
Yeah, and have the courage, and also know that fear is real. I feel it every day.
Yes.
Fear is real, okay? I feel it every day. But what I've learned to do is rewire the way that I look at fear. In the past, and I understand what you're saying, Matt. I want people to know that the life I lead is attainable for them, but it requires courage. And this has taken me years of personal development and looking at myself, right? And so I feel fear every day. I feel anxiety every day. I feel like, holy shit, what are people thinking? Like my in-laws, like question my parenting every day, right? I have to figure that out every day. I have to take a hard look at myself every day. Is this the right thing? Am I honoring my truth and myself? And here's what I've learned about fear. Fear is always going to be there. It's actually the way that I keep safe. Because when I feel fear, it's telling me, Dimple, you're going in the right direction. Because what it's telling me is there's a cycle, if we can imagine like a circle and then another circle outside of it and another one outside of it. So 3 circles, right? The middle one is my comfort zone. That's where I don't feel any fear. That's where I'm so happy and comfy, right? Then we've got another circle, and that is the edge of your comfort zone, right? That is where we feel fear. And then the third circle is panic. Now, the key is not to sit in panic. The key is to sit in your on the edge of your comfort zone, right? It's bloody uncomfortable there. Because here's the piece. If we were all sitting in our comfort zone the whole time, we wouldn't do anything different. And when we don't do anything different, we don't grow. And like you said, the adventure of travel is that you grow and experience new things. But it's not comfortable, right? I still have to sit on my bloody suitcases and worry that, are they too heavy? Are they, like, these are first world problems. I know this, right? I still have to feel uncomfortable that my daughter, I haven't seen her in 5 weeks. I have to sit with that as a mother. And I have to also know that she's growing and exploring in her own way and she's safe, right? And yes, she did have the wild parties. Yes, she did all that. And we grew through it as parents. She grew through it. These are all real things that we have to experience, right?
What I love that's beautiful is what you're saying is embrace the fear. See it as an actual necessity for growth. And don't demonize that as a bad thing. Learn to live with it in a positive way and know it's an indicator you're going in the right direction. At the end of
it's my friend. It's my friend.
Yeah.
Fear is my friend. If there's no fear, I'm going, maybe I'm going in the wrong direction. Maybe I'm not stretching myself enough. Maybe I'm getting too comfortable sat in that middle zone, right?
And that's where you start to make less money. That's where you start to get fat again. That's where your self-worth and self-belief goes lower. Then you can get depressed, relationships break down.
All of that, right? And actually, what then happens is when you learn to sit in the middle one, where is your stretch, right? Where it's uncomfortable, eventually what happens is that middle one where you were uncomfortable becomes the norm. So that stretches your comfort zone, right? So your level of what you're comfortable with grows. So my level of not knowing where I'm going from day to day has grown. I've got so comfortable with that. Like yesterday, my husband and I were sat in a meeting in the morning with an incredible professor at University of California, San Diego, and we're developing this new stuff that's going to change the world, right? And so he's like, okay, we're going to he's going to Palm Springs and then going on to LA. And he's like, come with me. Let's do it, right? So we're like, okay, let's do it. So we then went on to our next meeting, which is in University of San Diego with another professor. And we were showing him some new technology and introducing him to somebody else who we met randomly in Cancun, right? And anyway, after that third meeting, during that third meeting, my husband read the energy and he said to the first professor, no, we're not going to come with you. We'll meet you tomorrow, right? Now, I had a wobble moment in that moment. I was like, what the fuck? We just said we're doing this and we've got it all, I've got it all planned in my head about what we're doing and where we're going, and now you freaking changed it without even asking me. And like, why are you changing? All this dialogue's going on in my head, right? And that was me going into panic, right? And I had to go, okay, trust this beautiful man. He's got you, keeps you safe. Trust his madness. Trust he's got a reason, right? Breathe. And I went into my uncomfortable, on the edge of my comfort zone, right? And I had to breathe through it. And I had to use strategies to go, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. There's no saber-toothed tiger that's about to eat me up now. I'm safe. And I'm going to be okay in this level of uncertainty. And we didn't go, and we ended up, which is why I had to change all our plans, right?
Yeah.
Because I would have been in LA and all right, we're doing our normal time, right? And what transpired is we ended up having a different meeting in the evening that has led me to the opportunity to working with incredible celebrities, incredible people that I'm meeting with now in LA today, and over this
And
next week.
there's something you said there which leads us into perfectly something I want to discuss in depth today. You trusted your man. There was trust. In that moment of panic, you came back to the core and went, do I trust this man's judgment? The answer was yes, and it allowed you to then get out of that panic zone. And do you not agree that that's a fundamental problem with a lot of relationships, is they lose that trust, or they just focus on what they want without thinking about the fact that, look, this man's got my back, this man loves me, or this woman loves me, whatever. And they forget about coming back to the core. I trust you. Let's do it. Yeah. Sorry, I've got a bloody fly that's just decided. So,
yeah,
I'm so annoyed, Dimple, because I feel like I could talk to you now for 20 hours. We've got so much going on. So I want to just dive into a few other stuff. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you, you are an alignment coach. What's your definition of that? For anyone listening that's like, they're not sure what that is, how would you describe what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. What a great question. And I've shifted from when we last had a conversation from relationship coach to alignment coach. And I've rebranded that purposely because I was talking to my operations manager and she was saying, you know, you've grown. You know, I was talking about the comfort zone. Like I was comfortable with just working with a relationship. And when I say just, it's a huge space. It's a huge piece of work. And what I realized with my clients was that I was magnetizing business leaders, right? Who actually it wasn't just their relationship. Their relationship was a symptom. The truth is, what they were doing was, and you picked up on it, Matt, beautifully, alignment, trusting yourself, coming back to your core. And so what I do is I help people come back to their core, and I absolutely support them on them achieving their impossible dream in quantum time, in no time at all, right? Because I can take somebody from what they think is their impossible dream. I'm living people's impossible dream, right? And I can gift them that in no time, right? I can bring them back. People say to me, I don't know what my purpose is. I feel lost all the time. I feel like, what am I doing in this world? What is the point? And what I do is I help them find their point, their purpose. I create the roadmap for them to purpose. So my new book that I'm writing is called The Roadmap to Purpose, a guide for men who seem to have it all. So I work with women as well. And the reason I focused on men is because they're often the ones that are the leads. They're often the ones that are the ones who are at a point in their life, they're in their 40s, they're in their 50s, and they're like, I've done the success, I've done it all. What next?
Why do I still not feel fulfilled? Why do I still not feel pleasure and happiness?
Yeah. And I work with younger people as well, but they have to be at that sweet spot in their lives where, you know what, they've reached that level where they're like, okay, what's next?
Well, in
Where's the
particular,
roadmap?
business owners, entrepreneurs, quote unquote successful people, it feels to me, I might just be generalizing here, and obviously there's always exceptions to the rule, but generally successful entrepreneurs struggle to really have deep, loving, successful relationships. Why do you think that is the case? And also, if there's someone listening to this now that knows that that's a problem, that they're in a relationship, they're super busy, what would you suggest they start to do to make sure they maintain a loving, exciting, passionate, spontaneous relationship alongside being successful in business?
Yeah, brilliant question. I always align things to, I make it real for that person. So what I'm saying in answer to that question is, look in the areas where you've been successful first. If you're successful in business, what is it you've been doing in business that's led you to that success? And I can guarantee it's a few things. Number one, you've put focused, intentional focus there, right? You've decided what your goal is and you go for it, right? Intentional focus. Number two, you've realized that there's gaps in your skill and knowledge, right? So you haven't guessed your way and hoped that it would work. Because the third thing you've done is you've gone for mentors, you've studied, you've got coaches, you've actually gone and found people who have achieved what you want. Right? And that can be paid, it can be unpaid. You've gone read a book, you've gone listened to a podcast, you've done something, you've taken radical responsibility and action, right? So that's the formula. That is the formula in anything. If you can do it in business, if you can do it in health, the problem is people don't do it in relationship because they assume that relationships should come automatically.
It's like this fairy tale we've been fed growing up that, you should just feel it and it should just be right. You'll know when it's right. You'll feel it.
Yeah.
All right, but we've got 2 kids. We've got a business to run. Like, the shopping needs to be done. The house needs to be cleaned. I just feel a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So the key to any successful relationship is intentionality, focus, understand your gaps, and then go find somebody who has navigated those gaps and fast track. Stop wasting time thinking that it will come. It won't, right? You've got to put the effort in. My husband and I are intentional daily with our relationship, daily. We're intentional with our communication. You know, I do a clubhouse room every Sunday, and it's so interesting because people assume that they don't have to do the work. That they don't have to do the work. No, I'm sorry. I have to intentionally communicate in a way that lands for him. It's not his job to understand me. It's my job to make sure I'm understood, right? And if I'm misunderstood, that isn't his fault. That's me not communicating correctly. So I need to figure out a way on how to communicate that lands for him, right? And I've learned that through mentors, through coaches, through reading, through going deep. It doesn't come easy.
And I think what's interesting to hear with that is you never reach a point where it does just become natural. It's intentional work daily. And that's the thing everyone needs to get, because there's that saying, isn't there? Like, if you treat the person how you do when you first meet them, you never have a reason to lose them. What we do is we take the foot off the gas. Oh, that's good now, that area of my life. My relationship's good. So that's when we take them more for granted, and we're not as present and we're not as intentional. So I think the key thing people need to hear on this is, are you still putting the work in daily? I think the counter argument people will get is, it's like, if I'm trying to build a business, it's like, how do you manage your time so that you're being intentional in the areas that you care about, but not overwhelmed that there's so much to take on? Because let's face it, running any kind of business sometimes requires tunnel vision focus for long hours.
Yes.
What would be your advice around still doing that and still giving the relationship enough?
Brilliant question. So what I would say is, I'm going to give you some data here, a statistic that will hopefully help switch the flick the switch, and that is that it was shown that if your relationship isn't right, your productivity goes down by what? What percentage do you think that your productivity would go down in all areas in your life?
Well, I think when your relationship's not good, it's all consuming. Like, if you have got an issue, or you're worried that it's, it's not working out, or if you're going through a breakup, I get to the point personally, I can't think of anything else. So I imagine we're talking high percent, right?
Yep. So it's actually 80%.
Wow.
And for men in particular, because they're single focused. So like you said,
it makes sense.
You can only focus on that one thing, and everything else is clouded. Think about it, right? If you've had an argument with your partner and you go to work, your whole day goes to shit.
Yeah.
You're not productive, right? So you can put all the frigging hours you want. May as well just stay in bed, right? It's pointless.
Yeah.
You've wasted that whole day. So people come to me and say, well, I haven't got time to invest in my relationship. And I would say to you, well, you're looking at it the wrong frigging way, chicken and egg, mate.
Boom.
Because if you can't invest in that time, and it's not about a lot of time, it's a small amount of time, but it's about being intentional with that time. Because what I hear couples say is that, and men in particular, well, I've sat and spent all this time with her. What does she want? But what he's actually done is he's sat and been on his phone, or he's been talking, or he's not with her, right? I say to my man, right, and we've got so good at this. I say to him, I've been married to a serial entrepreneur, right? So there have been times when, particularly when our children were growing up, I remember a time when Maya was 2, that's our eldest, and Atul was building the business, right? So he would go out at 6 a.m. and not be back till midnight, right? Like, let's talk hours, right? And work 7 days a week, right? And I remember a time going, I don't want all day with him. He would do my nothing. I just want half an hour where he just sits and holds me. My love language is touch and time, where he just sits and holds me. I don't want half an hour, but I don't want him on his phone. I don't want anything else. I want him to look at me and sit and hold me. That's it. And I want him to just listen to all my shit. I don't want him to fix it. I just want him to listen to all my shit.
To be heard,
right?
and understood.
Yeah, and seen, right? And so we've developed a system that works for us. And this is through intentional communication. I have a whole process on how couples can do this, right? But the upshot of it is that I have a way of saying to him, babe, enough. I need you now. Give me a time and stick with it. And it literally, we've got it down to a point where he only has to give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like on fire. I'm so filled up. Go do what the fuck you want. I don't care. Because I'm good. I'm so full.
But
Right?
importantly as well is he now has that understanding of the importance of that time. Like what you said, he's flipped it. It's not like I haven't got time for business. It's like business will be shit if my relationship isn't good. And that's a
And
fundamental difference for him, right?
exactly. And what happened when we both understood that, our businesses 100x
Wow.
in less time, right? So I have clients that I work with, and I'll give you another example of a client. He came to me, super successful entrepreneur, taking 7 businesses to exit. The last one he worked on was he took one of the top 3 social media platforms, bought him out in 18 months, right? That's how good a business it was, right? To 9 figures, right? We're talking 9 figures. And he was like, Dimple, I just don't feel successful and I don't feel as though things are moving in the right direction. Imagine, right? On paper, it looks right. Within 3 sessions, he got 840% return on investment on what he worked with me. I'm not saying it to blow my own trumpet, but I'm saying it, these are the hard fact results, right? Almost, no, it was $250,000 worth of return on investment, right? Because of clarity, alignment, and focus. Because relationships, whether we like it or not, guys, is the foundation of everything.
Cool.
And it starts with your relationship with you. If your relationship and your self-worth with you is good, your fitness levels will go up, your business will go up, your relationships with your work colleagues will go up, with your family, everything. Right? And this, when you ask me the question, what is alignment? That's alignment. Being true to yourself, being absolutely congruent with who you are, and knowing how to navigate it when you're not. Knowing how to get back. I did that in that story I told you about last night when he went. I came back to trust. I came back to who am I and who have I decided to be with? I've decided to be with a man who can understand and read energy and know what's the right thing in that moment and let go of opportunities, knowing that something else is more important. I trust his gut, but that's taken work. That's taken work to trust my gut, to trust my feminine intuition that he's got me.
So it has to start with that awareness that this needs work. You have to figure out what needs to change and be prepared to work on that. So important. Something they always talk about, right, is the whole men are from Venus, women are from Mars, that women and men are just different. And I believe that to be true. And I think that's something we should touch upon briefly is, what would you say the fundamental differences between sort of masculinity and femininity, and what's the main things we have to be aware of in that
Brilliant.
opposite energy?
Yeah, super question. So there's a difference between feminine energy and masculine energy. So first I want to clear that up. We have both. It's not gender specific, okay? Yeah. The degree to which we have it is gender specific. So most women, generally 80% of women are mainly feminine, right? But I have a masculine side to me as well. All right. So I wanted to just clear that up.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at differences between men and women, generally speaking, men are very single focused, right? So I know if I want my man to hear me, I have to wait till he's finished what he's doing, because he will try to multitask. His brain isn't designed that way. It's just different. And if we can give the analogy, right, a guy's brain is a bit like a hotel. It has different compartments, different rooms, right? You can't be in 2 rooms at one go. It's impossible. He has to literally come out of that room, go beep, 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 and into the next room, right? So if he's working on work and you're asking him to talk to you about your feelings in relation, like, it's like, hold on, hold on, hold on. I need to go in that room that's relationship, right?
I'm
I
laughing
can't be,
because you're just like, it's ringing so true. It's exactly that. It's like, can you not
right?
see I'm sending this email? Why would we? It rings so true. That's exactly how my mind works. I can't actually function on that while I'm doing business. It makes no sense.
It's like, and it's so logical. A guy's brain is logical, right? Why are you asking me to do that right now when I'm here? I'm in the room of business, right? Now, here's what you need to understand on the flip side. A woman's brain is not hotel rooms. A woman's brain is, if you can imagine, a ball of wool, right? Or circuitry. It's all connected. So she actually, there's no hotel rooms. It's all one, right? She can think about business and be her brain with that and be like thinking, oh God, that dress is nice that woman's got on. And oh, I need to do this. And I wonder what the kids are eating. And right. So for her, she can't understand why you can't get it, why you can't think about business and answer her question, and think about the kids, and think about what you're going to have for tea, and think about, oh, we need to go shopping and get that before we can have that tea, and still focus on the conversation. Like right now, I'm focused on this conversation and I can see that there's a pigeon up there. I can see that the golf course is over there. I can hear my husband in the shower. I can see that that bed hasn't been made, right? And still focus on this conversation fully.
I just want to give you a round of applause and take a bow. I'm in awe. I'm just focusing on this. If anything else comes in like that fly, I don't know what, all I think about is the fly. And I'm like, oh shit, Dimple's here. Sorry.
Right? Yeah. And it's just differences. And there are so many other differences, like the way we communicate is different. And so the key to this, I mean, we could go so deep into it. The key to it is be aware that it's different. Be aware that when she says to you, babe, can you just talk to me about this? And you're in the middle of something, be aware that her brain doesn't know that your brain is different.
Yeah.
Right? And ladies, be aware that when he's trying to multitask and it feels like he's not fully with you, it's because he's not. He can't do it. It's not that he doesn't care, he doesn't love you, he just can't do it. And honor that, because actually the reason he's single focused is because he can protect you when there needs to be, or he can bring back the food when he's out for the hunt, right? He won't get distracted. Trust that he's got you.
Super quick one, because I know I'm conscious of the time, but something I really wanted to ask, if you could break it down just in maybe 3 or 5 bullet points almost, to help people be better in their relationships, to serve the other person better, to help them avoid going down that path of a relationship breaking down, communication breaking down. If you could do it in more like 1, 2, and 3, like the main tips, what would be your main kind of steps?
Yeah, the first one, brilliant question, thank you. The first one would be, and this was the game changer for me, it literally took my marriage from the brink of divorce back to teenage lovers again, is stop expecting. Just stop expecting. Switch expectation for appreciation, something Tony Robbins talks about. Switch expectation for appreciation. Stop taking them for granted. It's the law of familiarity. We all do it, but be aware of it. Flick the switch, right? I still thank my husband for paying the bill. It's our joint bank account, right? Always switch it around, right? So stop expecting them to be the ones that will do everything for you and provide everything, and start appreciating what they're doing. It's the half empty, half full scenario. Focus on the half full, right? So that's the first piece, right? Go into the relationship whole yourself. Don't expect them to complete you. I spent a lifetime expecting him to make me happy. It's not his job. It's my job. What he does is a bonus.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally different perception of it. It's a complete switch again.
It's my job to make me happy.
Yeah.
Right? It's my job to keep me safe. Right? And then the third piece is get really conscious with your communication. Be aware of how you're communicating. Right? Don't be lazy with it. Right? If you expect him to communicate to you in kindness, you have to do that back. Right? I realized that my tonality was something that was jarring with him. I would use a really strong telling off tone, right? And he's like, I'm not your boy. I'm not your child. Stop talking to me like you're my mother. You're not. Right? And he used to use a tone that was shouty, like he would be aggressive, right? It would be like, "Rah!" That's how it would sound in my head. And when I said to him, babe, I feel like you're about to attack me with that. And he'd be like, oh my God, I didn't realize that was my passionate. That was me showing passion. And it would come across really aggressive in my head, like I was being attacked. And that was just through open, conscious communication. That was through not taking it personally, right? And that's just an example. So the three things would be appreciate instead of expect, right? And what was the second one? Sorry, it's just gone from my mind. Appreciate rather than expect. A conscious communication was the third
Be
one.
more aware of how you communicate. Yeah. Yeah.
Being more aware of how you communicate, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one was, actually the reason it's gone is because I want to share another one with you, is choose love over being right. Choose love over being right.
Because being right is just your ego, right?
We just spend so much time. How many times have you been in an argument and you've got to the end of it and you can't freaking remember why you were arguing?
You're just operating from a standpoint of trying to win each point, so you've forgotten the original point.
What are you in the relationship for? Are you in the relationship to be right or be in love? Right? I choose love every time. Every time. And there are times when I'm halfway in the argument and I go, whoa, hold on a minute. That's the old unconscious me. I'm not going there because I love this man. I love me more, and then I love this man. And I never take it for granted. He chooses to walk this path with me every day. It's a choice. He could leave today. Right? I choose to walk this path every day with him. I could leave today.
Dimple Thakra, what an episode. I could honestly talk to you for another couple of hours at least, but I want to say thank you for your time. I appreciate your time. If anybody's listening and just discovered you for the first time, first thing I'd say is go back to last year's episode, because there's even more you explored about the time you worked with Tony Robbins and you took your husband to meet Tony Robbins. There's so much more you discussed. And I'm so pleased that we've got totally different episodes as well. So do check that out. But if they want to go and follow you, where's the best place to check you out? And yeah, how do they find you?
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. So Instagram, Dimple Thakra is my handle. So Dimple, Dimple, Thakra, Thakrar. Or they can go and check me out on, I have a website, dimplethakra.global. And the other piece that I want to just share is that if you like my content and you like the vibe, I write articles every single week. They're like blogs. They're just a 4-minute read of some of this conversation. Go check that out. Follow me on Medium. They're on my website. They're on my bio on Instagram. There's loads of places. And I do lives every day. Ask me questions, right? And the reason I do it is because not everybody can afford me. In truth, I'm expensive. Not everybody can afford me. I'm a luxury brand. And that's why I want to reach as many people by doing the free live content. So, and I'm writing my third book, so that'll come out. So There we go.
Dimple, I'm literally so excited. You're amazing. I want to just say thank you, not only for your time, but for your wisdom, for your experience, for your energy, for your honesty. It's just beautiful to have somebody like you out there doing good. And like you say, trying to reach as many people to, you know, be able to ultimately change lives. I remember you saying last time, like, there's babies alive because of the work you've done, like babies being born because of the relationships you've saved. Incredible work. Thank you so much. Before I let you go, the last question I always ask my guests, what is your definition of success to you?
Oh gosh, I just got chills when you asked me. My definition of success is waking up every day feeling gratitude and satisfaction, right? And that's it,
That is it.
right? Gratitude, satisfaction, and love in my heart. Those three things, right?
Please say no more. It's literally my Dimple Thackeray, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
God bless. Thanks, Matt.